Good evening, and thank you for attending the Ward 4 Democrats of Washington, D.C.'s third annual Ethel Delaney Lee Dinner. My name is Candace Tiana Nelson, and I've had the pleasure and honor of serving as this fine organization's treasurer for the past 4 years. A former treasurer of this organization is being honored tonight, and that's Mrs. Joan Thomas. She's being honored as our 2012 Woman of the Year. Our 2012 Man of the Year is Mr. Alan Beach. The President's Award is going to Loretta Neumann. And our posthumous award is going to Vincent Cohen Sr. We thank you for supporting our organization. We're so happy that you were able to attend. Enjoy yourself tonight on behalf of the Ward 4 Democrats.
I've been a member of the Democratic Party for over 60 years. I've lived in the District of Columbia since 1944. I've lived in the same house since 1949. It's hard to say what accomplishments I'm most proud of, because I've worked so hard in the Democratic Party all these years, working from the grassroots level of Advisory Neighborhood Commission for 20-some years, and that was in Ward 4. On the State Committee for 22 years, where I served as treasurer, and helping with all the campaigns in the ward, from the mayor to the city council, Advisory Neighborhood Commissioners, and others, and presidential elections. Well, the D.C. Federation of Democratic Women, I have served as a vice chair under Bill Rumsey, and treasurer in the Federation, and treasurer for the D.C. Democratic Women's Club for several years. I think I love Bill Clinton, because he was very good in the community, and I worked real hard and real close with him. He offered me a job, but I didn't want to work. I had retired, and I graciously refused. The biggest impact in my life, I think, was when I first became the first black woman of the American Red Cross to wear the veil. Because back in those days, the Red Cross was very prejudiced, and for a black woman was the last thing they wanted them to do was to wear the veil, and I was determined. I didn't want any other position other than to wear the veil, because those women was very special women, and they did an awful lot to help the veterans that were in service. Having been married to 2 veterans, it was very important to me to serve in that capacity so I could help the other veterans. Well, the only thing I wish that they would know was that I was a mother of 2 children, Edwin and the late Judith Stratton, that I have 3 grandchildren, Jerome Stratton, Wanda Hill, and Veronica Shields. And that I am also the proud great-grandmother of 5 children. So that's something I would like for them to know. I feel highly honored by the Ward 4 Democrats to have chosen me for this honor. I am extremely proud of the Ward 4 Democrats and for the job that they're doing, and I think that our President, Mrs. Deborah Ross, is doing an outstanding job. And she's to be commended. And I feel like she should be getting this award instead of me. I have received several awards, one from the American Red Cross. I received an award from Northwest Boundary Civic Association, Rock Creek Baptist Church, D.C. Board of Education, oh, I've got so many awards. It's hard to remember all of them right offhand.
The Democratic Party, I have been a member since I was probably 20 or so. Whenever I could vote. Back then, you had to be 21 to vote. So it's been almost 50 years, over 50 years. And proud Democrat. And I was born in Oklahoma, and at the time, most people were Democrats in Oklahoma. Now they're mostly Republicans. Boo. But I became a Democrat and have stayed a Democrat. I moved to Tacoma, D.C. in 1973 and lived in one house and moved to another house, and I've been in that same house since 1980, so that's over 30 years. The first Friday of every month they had these open houses, and the first Friday after I moved there, I was invited to this open house, and it was Neighbors Incorporated had it, and I met all these wonderful people. And every month after that, I went to these open houses. So Neighbors Inc. was founded in the late 1950s to foster and maintain integrated neighborhoods in Upper Ward 4. So it included Tacoma, Shepherd Park, Brightwood, and Manor Park. And by Shepherd Park, it also means North Portal, Colonial Village, the whole area. So every month they would have these open houses, and they would move from each neighborhood. And it was great because you got to meet all these people from these other neighborhoods. And that's what got me started. And then by doing that, I got involved in issues, zoning issues, fights over various things that went on in the neighborhood that people were concerned about. And that's what made me active in the community. The Tacoma Theater was a movie theater. It was built in the early 20s, 1923 or thereabouts. It was one of the early theaters in the District of Columbia, so it's very historic. The architect who designed it was the first of many theaters he designed up and down the East Coast, so it's architecturally significant. But it also was important to the community. It was just a place where people went. In fact, Deborah Royster tells the story of when she was young and her mother used to take her there and dump her on Saturdays, and you know, that's what they did. The kids didn't have anything else to do, and it was air conditioned at a time, you know, when it wasn't. So for years and years, this was an important movie theater in the community. What happened was, as happened to many theaters in the early 70s, with television and with just the megaplexes that went out in the suburbs, so there were theaters that would show 3 or 4, you know, movies at a time. The individual theaters like Tacoma, all over the country and all over D.C., started closing. Well, Tacoma stayed open for a while. It was a porn theater, so they showed yes, pornographic films. And then it became an Hispanic theater, and it was an Indian theater. And in 1978, several of us in the neighborhood said, you know, we'd like to have this be a neighborhood theater, something that we'd like to go to. So we formed an organization, this is 1978, to put on just movies, you know, old movies, current movies. $1, you could go to a movie. And for a year, we ran the theater, and it worked out fine. At that point, several of us said, wait a minute, this theater, the building is an icon in our neighborhood. It's been historically important. We want to save it. So we formed the Tacoma Theater Conservancy, and we fought the owners' attempt to tear it down. We won because it's in our historic district. The historic district was formed. I helped form it in the late 70s, and it's one of the icons in our neighborhood. So we were able to stop it from being torn down. Still not torn down because you can't tear it down, but the whole theater's in limbo. Meanwhile, we're putting on performances in schools. We decided if we can't have the theater physically, we want to do some things to help the community. So the Conservancy is putting on performances in all elementary schools. We're right now doing a performance, actually an after-school program at Coolidge, and we want to continue that. So that's where we are with the theater. First of all, my husband Dan Smith and I we're very active politically, and we've been in many campaigns. We were in Clinton campaign, we were in Kerry Edwards, and just move forward. And we were in Hillary Clinton's campaign as well. But when Obama won the primary, we immediately, this was in 2008, went to work. So we have been active with the Obama campaigns for quite some time. This year, we were especially interested because obviously having the president have a second term was extremely important. It truly validates our president, and it was important. So we started several months ago. We were phone banking. We cooked food for people in phone banks. I learned to use the databases and would go down to the DNC and do that. And we worked very hard. And then the last 4 to 5 days of the campaign, we were down in Virginia, because in the past we've gone to other states. We've been in Ohio and Pennsylvania and Virginia and West Virginia. But this year we decided Virginia needed us, we could do that, and so we went down with the whole team from the Democratic National Committee over the weekend before the election, and worked very hard, and we had the best time. We walked, we canvassed, we walked, we handed out stuff, we did everything we could, knocked on doors. When we heard on the news that people said that the Democrats were not supporting Obama as enthusiastically as the previous time. We had been in the previous campaign, so we knew the difference. They were extremely enthusiastic. Every door we knocked on, people would say, yes, we were over. So we're very happy with Obama, President Obama. I never just refer to him as Obama. He's President Obama. Yes, I do want to thank Deborah Royster. I think she's just a wonderful chair of our Ward 4 Democrats. I also just feel strongly that we have a wonderful community. I live in Tacoma, but as I said before, I have, because of Neighbors Inc., Neighbors Incorporated, I've gotten to know so many people throughout the ward, and then of course through Ward 4 Democrats. I mean, I go to the meetings and you get to meet more people. This really is a special neighborhood. It's integrated in all ways, and it's not just racially, it's age, it's economics. We're integrated in beautiful ways that bring a lot of people together, and everybody's special, and I love this community. I wouldn't live anywhere else.